My name is TaYoung and I am going to talk about pearls. Pearls are made how a grain of sand goes into a mollusk and that mollusk gets very disturbed. So once it goes in, the mollusk put nacre around the grain of sand that becomes a pearl. And here there's a white thing, that's the nacre. And nacre is crystalline aragonite or calcium carbonate. There are two major points in the brief history: people's thoughts and the oldest jewel. People thought that pearls were usually a symbol for beauty, elegance, dignity, and especially love. Christians thought that it was known for God's word and the kingdom of heaven, taken from Jesus' parable of the pearl of great price. Ancient Egyptians, and here is a picture of ancient Egypt. And ancient Egyptians prized and loved pearls so much that when they would die, they would bury it with them. And they only thought that rich people could wear them. This is possibly the oldest pearl in the whole wide world. And it was found in Arabia and specifically it was found in Pakistan. There are 5 unique types of pearls. There are natural, cultural, saltwater, freshwater, and imitation pearls. This is the natural pearls. The most valuable pearl is a natural pearl. They're valuable because it is very hard to find It is valuable because it is very hard to find and they're very rare to find perfect ones. In all 3 pictures, there are not round perfect ones. Some are oval. They were historically found in the Persian Gulf, but now many are harvested. And when you mean many are harvested, it means that the pearl farmers would collect mollusks in the nets, and they would cut it open and find pearls inside. Natural pearls are usually expensive. Even tiny ones, like these tiny ones, can be very expensive, $400 or so, or maybe more. They can be called Oriental pearls or Bahrani pearls. Natural pearls are prized for rarity and beauty for more than 4,000 years, and they can no longer be grown 5 to 7 centimeters. Natural pearls are beautiful and unique because their effect is found on its nacre thickness. The more nacre it is, the more prettier the pearls are. Natural pearls are also pretty because it has spiral suture lines, deep luster, surface purity, and beautiful colors. Culture pearls. Culture pearls have been nucleated with a round bead, usually of shell. Their mollusks are raised until they are old enough to accept the mother of pearl being nucleus. Mother of pearl isn't a pearl, but it is a mollusk that is very pretty. They can be colors to turquoise, darkish turquoise. And culture pearls are tightly controlled conditions by pearl farmers. When they're harvested, the pearls are clean and some are treated and bleached before made into jewelry. And when they have been made into jewelry, they are very stunning and iridescent. They can be also dyed into pretty colors. Culture pearls are not expensive because they aren't very rare and it's very hard to find. It is very easy to find culture pearls. Saltwater pearls. Saltwater pearls grow within pearl oysters which live in oceans, and they include the Okoyo pearls. The world's stylish Akoya pearl was discovered by a man in Japan named Kokichi Mikimoto, and the Akoya oysters from the oceans of Japan live in shoals and in water depths of 1 to 5 meters. These seas produce glossy, shimmering, shiny, and sparkling Akoya pearls. Akoya and saltwater pearls are usually white and creamy or light pink, and they exclusively grow in Japan, but the Chinese people took over Akoya pearls. And lastly, the Arabian Gulf is the most important source for saltwater pearls. Freshwater pearls. Freshwater pearls produced in different kind of places. They are grown in mussels in lakes and rivers. Most are non-nucleated, which means they don't start with an implanted shell as saltwater pearls do. Freshwater pearls are mollusks similar to the marine clam and oyster cousins. They live in different kind of freshwater places in streams and rivers. Some mussels come from Japan and China, but it's very hard to find in Japan and China, but it's very easy to find in the U.S. Imitation pearls. Imitation pearls is, people say it's the most prettiest pearl. It's usually coated with glass bead and most have a high luster. Some imitation pearls are made of mother of pearl, coral, or conch shell, while others are made from glass and are coated with solution containing fish scales called Essence d'Orient. They have the same smoothness as other pearls, and their luster dims greatly. They're mostly used for jewelry. Imitation pearls are man-made and coated to give them their beautiful colors, and they're very cool to touch. Once you touch it, it feels like you're touching a baby's butt. Okay. One of the famous discoveries was who made was Kokichi Mikimoto. That's Kokichi Mikimoto, and this is a picture of him working and discovering. He was a scientist and an artist, and that combined makes the genius Kokichi Mikimoto, the inventor of pearls. He went on a quest, and he once said a quote called, "Adorn the necks of all women around the world with pearls." Okay. Kokichi Mikimoto discovered the culture Akoya pearl. He saw long time ago, he saw broken or undeveloped pearls being sold. So as a perfectionist, he wanted to fix that problem, and he wanted to sell those perfect looking pearls. And so he learned about pearls, and he learned that Akoya oysters make the best pearls in the whole wide world. And he explored methods of introducing a particle into the flesh of the oyster. But he had some failed experiments, but then he didn't give up, and he still worked. In 1899, he opened his first pearl shop in Ginza, Tokyo, and his pearl jewelry business was one of the first Japanese companies. And in other countries, there was a pearl store too. There were London, Paris, New York, San Francisco, U.S. cities, and Bombay and Shanghai. This is the Gulf of Manor. As you see, there's a greenish spot there. That's the Gulf of Manor, and it was the most ancient source for finding pearls. So some Sri Lankan people would go there and look for pearls. Pearl folklore. Pearl folklore was very famous a long time ago. Japanese people thought impossible things. They thought that pearls were created from the tears of mythical creatures such as mermaids, nymphs, or angels. Other people would think that pearl would represent for love, kind, and goodness. Meaning of pearls colors. There are certain color meanings pearls have, and there are gold meant riches, prosperity, freedom, and white meant purity, truth, innocence. Blue meant truth, intuition, trust. Silver meant dignity, self-control, wisdom. Red meant power, enthusiasm, success. Green meant balance and money and nature. And yellow meant creative, happy, cheerful. And black meant protection, independence, balance. And orange, lastly, meant social, playful, and warm. I chose this topic because I was recommended by someone to choose this topic because it was so fun. But then all along, I thought it was just ISP, woohoo, yeah. But then, as I learned, I really think that I really had a hard time. But then it was very fun for me, and I learned that that pearls can have I had a biblical perspective about pearls, and it was that this ugly mollusk, this brown ugly mollusk can produce very beautiful pearls, and I thought that that means that you should always look in the inside but not the outside, just like the ugly mollusk would produce the best pearls in the whole wide world. Thank you so much for listening.